was about the life cycle or the age of a tree. And we used to consider that a citrus tree was a lot like a person, that when you planted the tree for the first few years, it was not very productive. You pretty well had to do everything for it. Once it got up to maybe 5 or 6 years old, it would produce a little bit, but it was really probably more 8 to 10 to 12 before it began to cover itself. Maybe by 15 or 16, it's beginning to really do a little better, and then it hits its peak in its 20s, and maybe in its peak for the next 20 years up until maybe the early to mid 40s, and then it might level off and taper off some, and along the way you'll lose a few to pest and disease and various things, but for the most part a tree can live to be 70 to 100 years old or more, and pretty well produce fruit during all that time. That has all changed considerably in recent years with the pest and disease pressure that we're under. And I don't know how much y'all have read in the paper or seen in the news talking about citrus canker, not citrus cancer, which some of the papers have reported, but it's a citrus canker that's a bacteria that affects the trees and the fruit, causes fruit drop, doesn't really impact the quality of the fruit, and really doesn't kill the tree. It just reduces the productivity of the tree. But it's a pretty serious disease that we're facing. But then more serious than that that's come on since that time is citrus greening, which again is another bacteria. Citrus greening is spread by the Asian citrus psyllid, and this bacteria will cause the tree to eventually die. But worse than that is it also causes off flavor in the fruit that it's producing, so that a tree that's impacted by the citrus greening disease will eventually be really non-productive, and so the citrus industry right now is battling that. The only answer to it at this time is when the trees are identified, we'll push those trees to try to reduce the inoculum in the grove, and then we're spraying about every 21 days to suppress the vector for the disease or for the bacteria, which is the citrus psyllid. And hopefully, with the amount of research dollars that are being put towards this, that will, in probably the next 2 or 3 years, have a solution in the form, most likely, of some kind of a GMO, a genetically modified either tree or something to do with the psyllid that would break the vector.